guys had been brought by Bargrave to somebody known as the Tailor. The Tailor has just gone, "Come, we have work to do." And he turns around and he begins to walk back towards his little workstation area. He's speaking at you over his shoulder. He says, "Bargrave tells me they're sending you back to the land of the living right away. Something nasty slipped over to the other direction during your passage, Good. I'm a fan of cleaning up one's own messes." He begins shuffling through a bunch of his papers and opening scrolls and looking at them, and you see all of these like schematics for different pieces of armor, weaponry, like things like crossbows. You see diagrams of what look like human hands, arms, feet, joints. And he says, as he's like flipping through these papers and sort of like glancing at you guys, he says, "On the other side, the Raven Queen has followers that serve her interests. The Church of the Raven Queen helps maintain the balance from their side, purging threats to the mortal world. But they're only flesh and blood. There are things they cannot do. Limitations. So long ago, we came up with a way to send souls across from our side to help them with threats that were too dangerous or impossible for them." He pulls out essentially like a blank sketch pad, and he turns back to face you. He's kind of looking over you guys. He said, "Used to be a lot grosser and involved dead bodies, so be grateful you didn't die 2,000 years ago. The Church, they have builders, engineers they call them. They build husks. They're artificial bodies that are capable of housing a soul for a time. They are uniquely designed to respond to the particular spiritual energy created by a soul and adapt as needed. In short, you'll be able to do anything you could do while you're alive. Longer you stick around, the more powerful you'll become, both in this realm and when you visit the Prime Material."
Do we have to eat?
He says, "No, but you can. We'll get to that."
I'm still waiting on wine.
He's kind of scribbling. He goes, "I don't have wine, but if you want," and he gestures. There's like a canteen on like the corner of his desk. He says, "You're welcome to that."
Flair immediately goes over towards it and
Okay.
picks it up and starts drinking.
All right.
What is it?
It is an extremely high proof, like a bourbon or a whiskey.
It's
That'll
now
work.
it's now boiling inside.
All right.
He's making some notes on this like sketch pad he has. He's writing a bunch of you can see like numbers and figures, and it looks like he's doing a bunch of complicated math. And he says, "Finding the right husk is an art form. It's like fitting a garment. Hence why they call me the Tailor. Make a name for yourself around here, and you might be worth building a custom husk for. The best irregulars have got husks in every major temple to the Raven Queen in Faerun. For now, you'll settle for a standard one. Being this
Look,
recently..."
we don't want to be nobody else.
He says, No. Listen." Kind of finishes making some noise. He says it is still you. It is just a physical form for your soul to inhabit. He says, "It'll all make more sense as we proceed, but in some ways it's better if I don't tell you too much."
So you're saying we can be someone else? And I'll slowly turn my head over towards Hadrian.
He like stops. He stops writing for a minute. He kind of looks at you. He's like, "I don't know what that's supposed to mean." He's like, "Shut up a minute. Let me get a look at you all."
To be honest, I don't know what it means either.
He goes, "Oh, then we're good. We're in agreement. Shut up now. I have to look at you."
Can't you look at him while he's talking?
He says, no, I need to think. You shut up too.
I'm sorry.
And he begins to look at you guys. And he one at a time, he like goes down the line. He like stares you down. So Hadrian,
Fancy.
he walks up to you, Hadrian. He says, strong. And I sense the righteous fury in you. You'll need a heavy model. Aki, he comes to you next. He says, much lighter.
Fancy.
Fancy, yes. I can almost hear music coming off of you. That will be important.
Sometimes.
He looks at you and he goes, Thorny, he walks to you. Yeah, I'm only getting topiary off of you. I'll have to figure that one out. He like makes a couple of quick notes. He like looks back. He's Flair. He comes up to you. He says, you have a will like iron, I see. They'll need one of the cheap pathway-equipped models for you, I think. Yes.
What does that mean?
Nice. He goes, don't worry about it. The cheap pathway ones don't require you to be smart.
Right. Well, I have this other problem, and he's like trying to hide it from Hadrian, and does like a little snap, like down by his side, and this fire like just ignites in his hand and then dissipates.
He makes it. He says, don't worry. The husk is capable of replicating any abilities that you have.
Right. Right. Okay.
And Raku, he looks at you, and he kind of turns and says, "Oh, you're one of those. The builders are going to hate you." Makes a note. He says, "The shape-shifting husks are a pain in the neck."
Sharpen his claws.
So he kind of makes some notes. He says, "Okay." Tosses the pad down. Alright, I've got a good idea what I'm looking at, but to get the measurements I need to see you in action.
What kind of action?
He looks at you and says, ha! No.
Oh,
They mentioned shades to you, yes?
something of the sort.
I've got a few captive specimen on hand. I've weakened them pretty heavily, so they should be more manageable for a bunch of new recruits. He looks at you guys. Okay, back up over there. And he's like waving you towards the far side of the room. And then he sort of turns away and he cracks his knuckles. He closes his eyes and he goes, okay, hide behind that. And he sort of like gestures up with an arm, and part of the floor physically rises up and creates this like 5-foot high, 10-foot long sort of like half wall, about 30 feet across the room. And he like opens his eyes again and looks to see like where all what you guys are all doing.
Nice grip on the top of the wall. Actually, trying to see if I can get on top of it. I'll still be.
It's only 5 feet. It's only like 5 foot high.
Yeah, he's just kind of hanging on the wall,
fine.
kind of
Easy.
behind.
Yeah, easy enough.
Alright. I'll duck behind.
Okay.
I stand very still.
Okay. He looks at you. Normally, I'd call you an idiot and tell you to move, but that might actually work. So I guess do whatever you want.
Fair point.
So if all of you have like taken up your positions, he goes, "All right, get ready." He himself moves over to his workstation, and let us go ahead and roll initiative as he makes another gesture, like so, and like a sliding trapdoor in the floor about 30 feet in front of you, between you and the Tailor, opens up. Alrighty. Initiative's 25 to 20. Anyone?
23.
23.
I'm standing very quickly.
Yes.
All right. 19 to 15.
18.
18.
Okay, so.
Oh my god, Chrissy, every single time.
I don't know!
If you guys have not played with me before, the way I handle shared like initiative ties is I just have you guys do your turn together. And so I'll just be like Aki and Raku, and then you guys can sort of decide amongst yourselves what you're doing, who's acting first.
We're used to that.
Raku. I had so I got Aki and Raku on 18.
16.
16 was Hadrian. Okay, 16 is Hadrian. All right, what do you got, Flair?
A big 8.
Ooh, big 8. Okay.
Is while he's telling us to get ready, like Flair's back there going, okay, okay, stretching and doing all these like weird like things back there in the back.
The full sun salutation.
So he parts his hands, and this portion of the floor opens up, and there's like you see the top of like a ramp that leads down and away from you. And if you will look to the stream overlay, you will see what comes up, as will the audience, as 3 shambling forms emerge from this subterranean space below the Tailor's chamber here, and kind of amble their way out into the open. As you guys have like hidden behind the walls, go ahead and make a stealth check for me, Thorny, as you're trying to bush.
Roll for bush.
Roll for bush, please.
That's 24.
Okay. All right. They even if they natural 20, they can't see you. So they do not seem to. You guys hiding behind the sort of low wall. Thorny just like standing very still. They don't seem to take note of you guys. But these three creatures shamble their way up and out. They are quite different in form from one another. One of them is sort of lanky and emaciated, and sort of a peach fleshy color. You can see this like deformed rib cage, and the outline of like pelvis and femur and radius and ulna, and like has knobby knees, but it has these like large sort of webbed, almost shovel-like hands, and this huge distended gaping jaw that just leaves it with this like gaping mouth. The second creature is similarly sort of thin and spindly, but in addition to it's what you take to be like sort of normal, where like normal humanoid forms like arms would come off of a torso. There are 3 more appendages that come out, all of them ending not in hands, but these sort of long, sort of pincer-like protrusions. And the third creature walks with sort of a hobbled limp, as both of its legs end in like spiked points, as well as one of its arms ending in this huge like bony proboscis that it uses like a tripod with its spiked feet to sort of like pull itself. Its other arm below the elbow has this sort of the flesh is sort of torn, and this sinewy tendril of like musculature and ligaments stretches like 15-20 feet behind it, and you see as it like drags itself fully out of this pit. At the far end of this thing is what appears to be a severed hand with like a spike coming out of it, being drug along the ground behind it. Here is what those guys look like as they emerge. they come up, and they're sort of collectively making these like horrible like noises as they sort of like meander up into this space. The Tailor just like pushes himself up onto like one of his tables and sits there and then crosses his arms. And the first to be able to make a move here is Thorny. What are you doing?
I will ready in action to dodge if anything attacks me.
Okay. Thorny has a readied action. The next to go is the one with like the large sort of shovel hands and the huge opened mouth. It is going to sort of shamble a little forward. It moves forward about 15 feet, about halving the distance between it and where you guys are like crouched behind that wall. It does not appear to have like taken note of anybody yet. Actually, you know what? It moves 15 feet forward, and it is sort of listless and aimless. But as it gets within about 15 feet of you guys, it goes... and Flare?
Yes.
It looks right at where you are peeking from behind that, like that wall.
Okay.
And you remember the like, the little bit of pretzel crumbs that are on your, like your tunic from the pretzels that you were given by Mora, and it like looks at you and it begins to go like, and it is going to close the distance, and it basically moves like right up to the corner of the wall, right to like where you guys are standing, but that is all it's going to do this turn.
I think it's hungry.
So that is its turn, which does bring us to Aki and Raku. So the one with the shovel hands and the big mouth is like right up near you guys at this wall. The other two are further back yet, having not really taken note of the group so far.
Thinking I can potentially make it more advantageous for you, Aki, if you have a plan of doing some major damage.
I have an idea.
All right. What I'm thinking of doing is that I would wonder, Matt, if I could kind of use the top of the wall to kind of launch myself up and come down on it.
Sure.
I would like to use Primal Savagery as my claws kind of come out, and I would like to try and just sink it into him and get him onto the ground and knock him prone.
Okay. Yeah. Make me a grapple attack.
So, for starters, that is 17 to hit.
Yep.
And you said grapple, right?
So, yeah,
well, that is the melee.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll some damage with your claws.
That is 5 points.
Okay.
And that is 5 points of poison damage. I never understood that, but it's 5 points of poison damage.
Okay.
I think it's because the tips of the claws are poison. I don't know. Never understood that. However, what is the grapple check again?
Make a strength check. Test it.
Strength. Okay.
It's not exactly how grapple works, but I'm not worried about it right now.
That is a 14.
Okay. So you land on him and you sort of like cling to him essentially. You do not manage to knock him down as you hit him, and he's like, for how like skeletal he is, this creature is a lot more solid than you thought. As you just sort of like onto him, and now you're like hanging on him, but he's still like sort of like pawing at its own mouth and like eyes locked on Flare. But you are now, like, on top of him. What do you got, Aki?
I would like this creature that Raku's on to make a wisdom save, please. As I cast insinuation.
His specialty. That is going to be a... Actually, that's not terrible considering he's a crappy monster. That's a 14?
Oh, it beats it.
Oh, okay. Anything happen, or is it a...
No, nothing happens.
Okay.
So as a bonus action, I will blow a kiss to Flare and give him...
Okay, so Flare, you have a point of Bardic Inspiration. That is going to bring us to the creature with the, like, big flail arm. Raku, as soon as you, like, leapt out from behind this wall, the other two creatures went, like... and the one with the big, like, dangly arm, it, like... You see these sort of hollow, empty eye sockets sort of turn in your direction, and the mouth kind of works a little bit, and it's just sort of just like, and it then, is going to, there he is. He basically just goes. And this trailing arm of his whips across the room. Does a... probably not. Does an 11 hit your AC?
Nope.
Okay, so he launches this thing in your direction, and you sort of manage to, like, crouch yourself down behind the other creature that you're hanging onto. But you hear like, and as you turn your head, you see this like severed hand with the spike coming out of it has driven itself like 4 inches into this solid like stone barrier that the Tailor raised in this chamber, and then it goes as it's pulled out and like whipped back across the room into position, and the creature kind of like looks at you like, and he will start moving in your guys' direction. He does move 30 feet closer, so he gets like fairly close to the wall as well, though he goes at sort of an angle, so he's much closer, but he is like kind of off to your guys' side. That is going to bring us to Hadrian.
Two things.
Sure. You go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I had made the note to you guys that like when you got here before your weapons appeared to be gone. As you like spring into battle here, and you like almost like instinctively like reach for your weapon, you find like you're armed again.
Okay, that changes things a lot.
That is good to know, because I also thought I was not armed. So I was
that was going to be the first question I was going to ask when it came to my turn.
That was one of my questions, because I was going to say, if I don't have a weapon, the only thing I can do is shield myself. Where did the canteen end up?
Thunder Flare, what'd you do with that canteen?
I just probably set it back down on the table.
It's probably on the table on the far side.
How far away is the table?
It is about 60 feet from where you guys are currently positioned.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
I am going to... You said the wall wasn't that high, right? I could leave
5 foot wall. You could easily just vault it. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to vault over the wall, and I'm going to go to the one that's in Flare's face, and pull my rapier, which is now there again, thank the gods. And that's gonna be a 15 to hit.
Which one? The two that are like right up by the wall is the one with the big mouth, and the one with the dangly arm is not right at the wall, but is like close enough. The one with the like spider crab arms is further back.
The question is, which one am I going for?
Which one are you attacking?
Yeah, the one that was like right in Flair's face.
Okay, so the big mouth shovel hands guy. Okay, and you said it was a what to hit?
What did I say? 15? Is that what I said? I don't know. I cleared it over.
Yeah, I believe it was a 15. Yes, a 15 does hit.
Okay, so that's gonna do. That's not the right weapon. 7 points of damage.
Okay.
And then after stabbing him in the face, I then will pull from my other side a hand crossbow. And that is 22 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits.
And that's an additional 5 points damage. So like rapier stab in the face, and then like.
And then you use your bonus
crossbow
action to fire.
Shot.
Okay. Alrighty. How much damage was the crossbow again?
5.
Okay. Couple things real quick, not to interrupt our battle here. Hello, Mr. Pope. Hello, couple people. Local Boy 79. Hello. I see you there in chat. In terms of like this game, it's not really a joinable, jump-inable thing. This is sort of prearranged. If you are interested in getting into a D&D game, that is absolutely some stuff that stick around when we are sort of like wrapping up the session. I absolutely have some recommendations for you that you're looking to join. Looks like you want to get in, you want to play. We can definitely point you in the right direction. In terms of this is like we prearrange and gather and set all this up ahead of time. So this is not this is just a viewer type of situation rather than something that we can like bring people in randomly. But thank you for sticking with us, and I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Which we will get back to at this point. So that was Hadrian, yes? All right. Flair, you are up.
All right. I guess seeing that Raku jumped into action and is trying to wrangle this creature in front of Flair, and Hadrian moved up as well. Flair's going to reach to his side and find that his boomerang is there.
Okay.
And gets it ready and is actually going to like throw kind of sidearm under the creature in front of him to the creature that shot his arm.
Okay.
If it's within 60 feet of him.
Yes. Okay.
So he's gonna whip the boomerang and throw it beyond to the other guy.
Alrighty.
So that's a 17 to hit.
That does hit.
And that's going to be a big 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ooh, big 4 points. Okay.
Big 4, and the boomerang falls down to the creature's side.
Okay.
However far away that was.
So he's about probably.
It only comes back if I miss.
he's about 30-ish feet from you as he like moved kind of like a diagonal where you guys were. So you throw the boomerang and it sort of like smacks into the side of that creature's head with like a sort of a wet thunk and hits the ground, and the creature goes like.
And then
looks back at you with these baleful eyes.
I kind of feel bad. And then Flair's a pretty good fighter, so he would like cartwheel around to where like an advantageous position would be flanking with his other companions with his move, if he could.
Yeah.
And then spend a key point to Flurry of Blows with 2
Okay.
roundhouse kicks to the face of this creature
Nice.
in front of it.
All right, go ahead and make me some attack rolls.
Okay, so unarmed strike number 1. I'm going to use my Bardic Inspiration on that one.
Okay.
It's a D6, correct, Christy?
This
Is
level
that right?
it should
Okay.
be, I believe, yeah.
All right, so I will roll 1d6. Okay, how do I do that? Oh, nope, don't do that. Oh, how do I clear it? Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't know how to do that on D&D Beyond yet, so I'm going to have to roll manually. So it's going to be a 13 to hit on the first one.
13 does not hit.
Oh, missed with that one. So the second one is going to be, that's much better. That's a 23 to hit.
23 definitely hits, yes.
And that's for a total of 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Alrighty, so 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Just for a future note, if you click on the D20 in the bottom left on D&D Beyond, it'll bring up just each individual dice, and you can click to roll.
Right, and I clicked on it once, and it didn't roll, so I clicked on it again, and then it made it a 2, like 2d6, and I don't know how to reset it.
You click on it, and then down by the bottom, there's a thing that says roll. Once you've
Okay, so I just have to close it and reopen it to... Okay, I see it. I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like down at the bottom, it'll say roll.
Got it.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Cool.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Flare flings his boomerang into the head of one of these creatures, whirls around to meet the other one as Raku is like sort of like rodeo claw attached to it. Takes a spinning kick, but as it sort of like rocks back and forth with Raku's weight on it, the first one goes wide. You follow up, coming around a second time, and you kick right into the rib cage of this creature. You hear this resounding like crack. It's still sort of facing the direction that it was, so you've sort of spun to this side now, but like its head goes like to keep looking at you, as it has been this whole time. And that is gonna bring us to the final creature, which has yet to act, which is going to move. It's going to move up. It is going to run at Hadrian, who has like vaulted himself over, and it is going to make an attack roll against you. Does a 12 hit?
No.
Okay, so it rushes at you, and these like 6 spindly like crab arms that it has, it basically like they lash at you, and they all like come in and they go as if it's tried to like grab you and pull you in, but you like step back, kind of bump against this wall, and then right yourself again, ready to continue to face it. That's going to be its turn, which will bring us back to the top of the order, and Thorny, who none of these creatures seem to have noticed at all, it is your turn again.
Are any of the creatures like next to each other?
The big one with the gaping mouth and the one with like the crab claw arms now are. They have moved pretty close to each other. They're probably within 5 feet of each other.
Okay, is there one of them that is not within 5 feet of any of my cohorts here?
Yes, the one with the long like harpoon arm is
Cool.
has moved off to the side and is on his own.
Seeing other people, I think the way this universe works, this is okay, have withdrawn weapons now. Thorny is going to sort of make this weird rustling motion. His arm comes out, and instead of like holding a weapon, the part of his body that's sort of hand-shaped just sort of grows into a short bow.
Cool.
And then another hand comes out, and like a sort of arrow-shaped thorn grows out of it, and he pulls back the sinew until the thorn snaps off and flies at him. And I'm going to... Sorry, I actually have to do this first. I've known this a long time. I'm going to cast Hail of Thorns as a bonus action.
Cool, okay.
And then it's the next time I hit a creature with a ranged weapon attack. So let's see if I hit. Bloop. Probably not. It's not that good.
Yeah.
14.
14 does hit.
Oh, good. Cool. So it takes the regular damage, then it and any creature within 5 feet of it have to make a dex save.
So you're specifically shooting at the one that's off on his own, right?
Shooting at the one that's off on his... Well, is there one that's basically within 5 feet of another enemy, but not within 5 feet of an ally?
No, so
Well,
it's like
for.
the two that are right next to each other, but Hadrian, Flare, and Raku are like on those two, and then the third one is off on its own.
I misunderstood that. So I guess the question now is...
Would you like to Hail of Thorns and just regular shoot him?
Can I switch the spell that I cast?
Yeah.
Is that alright? Okay, thank you for the retcon. I'll do Ensnaring Strike instead.
Snaring Strike, okay. Sure. So he will go ahead and roll your damage, and then he's grappled?
Yeah, so that's going to be 7 points of piercing damage, and they must succeed a strength saving throw, or they'll be restrained, not just grappled, but restrained.
His strength save is a 14.
Okay, totally saves.
Okay.
So a bunch of vines go out, and they just chop them and bat them away. Nothing happened.
Yep, so he's sort of like, he wrapped a little bit, but he just sort of like... and they just kind of snap and don't manage to tighten around his form.
And I'll also just use some of my movement, since I'm probably giving myself away, to just back up a bit.
Okay. Back up a little bit away from where the melee is about to take place. All right, that brings us to the first creature again that reacted. That is currently being like clung to by Raku. Oddly enough, Raku it like doesn't even pay attention to you. It's like it only has eyes for Flare for some reason. So Flare, he's actually going to attack you. First with his bite, and then with a claw. I'm pretty sure the bite is gonna miss. It's an 11 to hit, Flare.
That misses.
Misses. Okay, and then he's gonna swing a claw at you. That is an 18. So I assume that one will hit, right?
Yeah, that will definitely hit. Yes.
He deals 10 points of piercing damage to you. And you are grappled. He basically like hits you with this claw, and then just like as soon as he makes contact, the like webbed spiked fingers just go and clamp down like, right around your shoulder, and he just holds on with his vice-like grip. That is actually what he does at this point. He's got Raku on him, so he actually can't do anything. So that is all he's going to do, because Raku's grappling him. He cannot... you see, he sort of... Like, once he's got you, he sort of starts to, like, try to, like, drag you away. But with, like, holding you and with, like, Raku sort of, like, grabbed onto him, he actually can't, like, move. So he's just stuck in place. But he's now got you, and he's going, like... trying to, like, chomp you.
Raku, claw him back! Claw him back, please!
Alrighty. That is his turn. Aki and Raku, it is your turn now.
I'm going to try and give this thing another Chaos Migraine with id Insinuation and just do a Psychic Blast at him. So Wisdom save, please.
7 this time.
Thank you. So it is currently incapacitated.
Very cool.
It also takes, at the end of its turn, which would be next time, 1d12 psychic damage at the end of its...
Okay.
Yeah, and then after it takes the damage, it can make the save again.
Okay. So, Aki, you step up, you cast this spell. What does this spell look like?
You kind of see her, like, focus for a second, and she kind of presses into her temples, and you see the tattoo begin to glow, and you see almost like a wave. You can't really see it because it's psychic, but it's almost like this hollow wave pushing into this creature.
Okay.
Like a shimmery hollow color.
As Aki steps up and does this, the creature sort of goes like limp, but between like Raku sort of clawed into it and this like anchor that it's stuck into Flare, it doesn't collapse necessarily so much as it just sort of like and Flare, you are treated to a very up close and personal like inspection of this thing, as like a moment ago as it was like trying to basically chomp into you, it's now stopped struggling, so it's like everything goes oddly still momentarily, and you're just like inches from this thing's disgusting, like rotted, malformed face with this huge, like gaping maw filled with these razor-sharp rows of teeth and this long, sort of lolling tongue. You feel like a puff of like as it exhales, and this like putrid stink hits you in the face. But it is incapacitated currently by this spell. Raku, what do you got?
He's always taught the golden rule. So if something's trying to bite something else and you got the upper hand, you might as well just go ahead and bite that thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my primal savagery teeth and just bite on that arm that's got a flare.
Could I also use my bonus action to inspire Hadrian?
Yeah.
A little wink.
Alright, go ahead and roll to hit with advantage, Raku,
Sure,
as it is
see that goes.
incapacitated.
But you're inspired! You take it!
Oh, you
That
take
is
it and
a
you like
20.
it!
You like me! You really like me!
22, you said?
23.
23, yeah, definitely hits.
Third option to turn down Bardic Inspiration.
Since he is incapacitated and you hit him, you do also do critical damage.
Oh.
Dope. So that's 2 of these. That one is a 6 and a 9. 13. No, 6. 15. What am I doing with that?
Okay, 15.
Math. I'm gay and can't do math.
It's like 6
Alright.
and 9. Man.
Okay. So you bite into this creature's arm and just like rip a chunk of like flesh and muscle out of its upper arm. Immediately, like your mouth is filled with this like horrible, acrid, rotten taste. This thing's like blood, such as it is not right. It is one of the worst things that you have ever like bitten into.
Just some weird things.
Yeah. Okay. So that is Aki and Raku, which does bring us to the creature with the whip arm. He is going to I think he's fixated at this point on Hadrian still, even though Thorny hit him with an arrow. It didn't really divert his attention too much. He sort of briefly looked, but went back to Hadrian, and he's gonna throw that arm again. This time that is going to be a that's gonna be an 18 to hit this time.
That is.
Okay. You are gonna take you're gonna take 9 points of piercing damage, and you are grappled. He does exactly what he did to that stone wall. He now does to you. The like spike coming out of that harpoon arm just buries itself into like the meat of your shoulder below your collarbone and sticks there. What he does next, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
15.
15. Okay, that is just enough. So you are good. So you are still gonna take. You take 2 points of psychic damage. as like you sort of like look, and the abject horror of this like severed hand with a harpoon end coming out of it, just like embedded into your body, is very traumatic. You take 2 points of psychic damage. And you have just a brief kind of moment to recognize this, as you then feel yourself leave your feet as this creature goes "Ah," and yanks its arm back, and this tendril connecting it to you pulls you fully off your feet, and you are hurled bodily 30 feet across the room directly into its waiting arms. As you come to it, and it just goes and clamps down on you.
No.
That is its turn. And it is now your turn, Hadrian. So you are currently being grappled by this thing, and you have been pulled 30 feet away from your allies into its embrace.
Sure, you don't want that inspiration.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay.
And then I guess the only other thing I could do is attempt to break the grapple, right? I can't.
You can use your action to attempt to break the grapple. I mean, you can attack. It will not prevent you from attacking.
Oh. Then I will attempt to... let's see. I will attempt to put the crossbow up, like, into its face as it's grappled.
Alrighty. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
That's a natural 20.
Okay.
Make it a 25.
That will definitely hit.
Okay. So let's see.
Very nice.
That's gonna be 12 points of damage.
Okay. Anything else?
No, because I used my action and my bonus action.
So you see Hadrian like leave his feet and like zoom across the room as this thing reels him in. And a moment later, you see this like smoldering aura appears around his entire body, interspersed with this sort of golden, radiant light, and just sort of like creates this almost like shell around his torso. And then you see sort of his arm like wiggles around in this embrace of this creature, and a second later you hear the like chunk of the crossbow, and the creature goes like that. Hadrian, now that you are like pulled up to it and it's got you, it has these like empty little beady eyes and this like sorrowful little downturned mouth, but it's like pulling you in, and it's like truly like disgusting. As it looks like, even though it's got you, like it wants nothing more than to like it's just trying to like squeeze you closer. And that will bring us to Flare.
Okay, you said, am I grappled or grappled and restrained?
You are, he's still sort of hooked into you, but you're not grappled because he's incapacitated.
Okay, so not grappled.
So like
then.
you can basically just like whack his arm off of you and move, because he cannot.
Okay.
He can't really take the action to try and hold on to you at this point.
Okay. Seeing Hadrian kind of in trouble over there, is he within 30 feet of me?
Hadrian? Yes, he's about 30 feet from you.
Okay. We'll see. He's a little hesitant to do this because he knows what Hadrian had told him earlier, but decides to forego that in the midst of all this and flicks his fingers together. And you see like the ball of flame like appear in his hand. and he's going to whip it over at the creature that is holding Hadrian and throw a produce flame.
Okay. Roll the hit.
That's his action. All right. Ooh, that's good. 23.
Oh yeah, that definitely hits.
All right. That is. Oh, the die is like on my D&D sheet. There we go. That does a big 1 point of fire damage.
Ooh, buddy. Alrighty.
And as a bonus action, I will. He's going to use Step of the Wind to disengage as a bonus action.
Okay.
And then cartwheel it back.
Okay.
Away from the creature that almost just killed him in one turn. Probably about 20 feet back.
Okay. That is your turn. Cool. And that brings us to this guy, Crab Arms. He is going to try to grab onto Raku, as Raku is the only one sort of near him at this point. So that is going to be a does a where's this to hit? There it is. Does a 13 hit you, Raku?
No, it does not.
All right, so again, he comes in towards you guys, and he tries to grab these sort of claws, like clack into each other as they close on empty air where you were a second ago, as you like duck out of the way. And that is his turn. That's all he's gonna do. You see, and now that he's like a little up, kind of like more up close to him, you see he's got this like panic expression on his face. He's like, just almost like looking for something. But that is all he's going to do at this point, which will bring us back to the top of the order and Thorny. So they the two who are like close together, the Crab Arms and the Shovel Hands with the mouth, they're still kind of next to each other. Raku and Aki are still like sort of in their vicinity. Aki's a little bit back, I think, but Raku's like right up on the two of them. Flare has moved, disengaged himself, and Hadrian is being embraced about 30 feet separate from that group by the third creature.
Having moved back a bit, am I farther than 25 feet away from all of the enemies at this point?
Probably.
Okay. I think I'm actually going to move a little bit closer in towards the one that is grappling. Sorry, who got grappled?
Hadrian is currently being grappled.
Hadrian's the one that's grappled, and Raku is the one who is still close to the two that are next to each other?
Yes.
Okay. I think we're going to have to go with a little friendly fire.
Okay.
Sorry, Raku. I'm going to, as a bonus action, cast Hail of Thorns.
You may kill me if you shoot at me.
Fire on the two of them there.
Okay.
I'll actually shoot the arrow at whichever one looks healthier to me, if there's a distinction.
The one that the one with the crab arms has not been attacked by anybody yet.
Okay, I will shoot that one.
Okay.
Alright, let's see what we get here. Doop. 11.
An 11 to hit? Yes, that does hit.
Oh, wow. Cool. First off, damage for the arrow. Ooh, that's not bad. 8 piercing damage.
Alrighty.
And then for Hail of Thorns, double check, I believe it was a dex save. Yes. Dexterity save. That's for both of the enemies and Raku.
Okay, the enemies get a 5 and a 7, so they both fail.
Cool. As the arrow flies through the air, of course, it splits into like dozens of thorns that fall down around them.
What save is it?
Dexterity. It's got to be a 12.
Oh, I'm fine. I got 16.
Okay.
Cool. Well, you still take half damage. Sorry. But it's 6 points of piercing damage for them and 3 for Raku.
Okay.
Okay. That one takes 6. Alrighty, so these creatures are peppered with these thorny arrow tips as they come down, and actually both of them look extremely rough at this point. The one that had been that Rocco had been like clambered onto has been like brutalized by your group so far. And the one with the crab legs just was pretty badly shredded by all these like arrows that just struck into him. So they are looking in fairly rough shape. Anything else with your turn?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. So it is the Hungry's turn, the one with the big mouth and the claws. He's under the effect of the
Incapacitated?
Aki's spell, so he does
Okay, so-
nothing, right? And just takes damage at the end
he-
of his turn.
Yeah, he takes 11 damage. I
Okay.
rolled pretty good. And then he can make the save again.
Okay. Well, he can't make the save again
Oh.
because he does die.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's sort of like jerks and twitches a bunch, and then you just see like sort of like fully one half of this thing's distended face just goes like, and then it keels over and hits the ground with like a sickening thunk
Down
and
you
moves
go.
no more. He is vanquished. Okay, so that was his turn, which does bring us to Aki and Raku. So Raku, the guy that you were like clawing up and biting, has just sort of keeled over dead in your arms. You sort of drop him to the ground, and the one with the crab arms is like right on the other side of you.
I'm going to very quickly turn around and just dive my claws into the
Crabby
crab.
boy.
Alrighty, go ahead and roll the hit.
That is that's a 9.
Not quite. So you sort of rush in at him just as he sort of notices you, and attempts to like kind of attack simultaneously, and your claws sort of like clash into the one of the crab pincers that he's lunging at you, and you both deflect off of each other. Anything else?
I'm not sure how you rule this, but would I still be able to do the just like a melee attack at disadvantage, or is that not something you do for yours?
I don't think that's anything. I don't think I've ever done that. Is that like a core rule thing, or is that a homebrew rule?
Like if
typically?
you have one hand to attack something, you try and use the other hand to just make like an unarmed attack.
I have
But
never
effective-
I have never done it. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. Who like other you guys all DM one time or other. Is that a thing you guys have done before? Do you wanna make that a rule for our game?
It's been something that was recently added to D&D Beyond. If you guys look at the bonus action, the two weapon.
Shit, if it's on D&D Beyond, then go for
But
it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
It's something that not everybody does.
Punch that
you
bad
can,
boy.
You can.
Punch it.
It says you can do it. It says you can do it, but you can't. Only the monk gets to add like its modifier or its
The
dice
dice.
roll or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
to
yeah.
it,
Proficiency. Yeah.
or something like that. So
Yeah.
basically, what you do is whatever your damage die would be, you just roll the damage die, and that's the damage. There's nothing added to it.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, go ahead.
That makes
It's a
sense.
straight strength attack at this point. So, which is better because then that one is actually a 19.
That will definitely
But then he would just take 2 points of damage.
hit. Okay. So you just sort of like haul off and just punch him directly in the mouth after he like blocks your attack. And the jaw sort of goes like cracks under your fist. Doesn't necessarily seem to phase him all that much, but his jaw is sort of like dislocated. But he continues to like look around in this like distressed sort of way. That will bring us to The one currently grappling.
Is it my turn?
Hadrian. Oh, you didn't do anything. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was waiting
is-
for him to do his thing.
That is the pitfall of I do these shared initiatives. Sometimes if somebody does something complicated on their turn, I forget
No,
that the other
you're
person
fine.
didn't do anything yet.
You're good, you're good. So
Go
I'm gonna pop up, take a look at the one that's currently grappling Hadrian, and kind of just blow it a kiss, and I say, time for a headache, and I cast Mind Sliver.
Okay.
So I need an intelligence saving throw for this one.
Probably not his specialty. This is the one. Which one is this? The.
The one that's grappling Hadrian.
Gotcha. Intelligence. That is going to be a 10.
It fails, so it takes
does.
1d6 damage, and until the end of my next turn, if it makes a saving throw, it has to use a d4 to subtract that number.
Okay.
So that is 4 psychic damage.
Okay. So Hadrian, you see this thing like as it's in your face, it's kind of like, and this sort of like black ichor begins like leaking from its eyes, dripping down its face. But it is still like holding onto you pretty tightly. And it is still up. Okay, let me mark him for his. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Anything else, Aki?
That is my turn.
All right. That will bring us to this creature. So it is his turn. First thing he's going to do is he's going to take Hadrian, and he is going to use his movement speed while grappling you. He is going to move 15 feet towards the rest of your party.
Oh shit.
So he's like now got Hadrian in this one like pincer arm. He's basically like pinned him bodily to like his front. This other arm is sort of like stumping at the other side of Hadrian while the long thing sort of trails looped behind him. As you guys know, the other end is like in Hadrian right now. And you can just see like the top of his like face like over Hadrian's shoulder. As he starts like clack, clack, clack coming towards you, and he's like making his way in your direction. He can only go about 15 feet. And Hadrian, I need another wisdom saving throw.
I'll roll it on here instead of 16.
Okay, you do succeed. So you're only gonna take 2 points of psychic damage, as he's like he's just like is like smothering you, and you're already held onto him. So that is all he does. That is gonna be it for his turn, which does bring us to you. So you are now being like dragged across the floor back in the direction of the rest of your compatriots, as this thing is like yearningly walking towards them now.
Okay. I could do one of two things. One is more defensive and one is more offensive. But I think Hadrian is now probably thoroughly enraged by not only having fire shot at him, but also having scandalous women fire kisses at him. He is going to drop the Shield of Faith to cast
Scandalous women.
Divine Favor,
Okay.
and he is going to grip his rapier real tight. And I'm also going to use the Bardic Inspiration from said scandalous woman.
Hell yeah! You can't deny me, Beach! You can't deny me!
And I'm going to attempt to like shove the rapier up through its open mouth.
Okay. Roll to hit.
And say like, if you are so hungry, eat this.
Ooh.
So that was a 23 before the
I
extra
think you're fine.
thing. So
Does hit.
okay, so that is gonna be go away. Okay. Find favor. So it's 10 points of regular damage.
Okay.
And then, as Hadrian's sword then glows with like a holy light, it's an extra 4 points of radiant damage.
So you guys are essentially looking at the back of Hadrian as this thing is like coming towards you with him. But you see him like work one of his arms free, pulls out this rapier that like comes out, sort of behind him, and curving out and up the blade from his hand, like the sword like illuminates, and then you just see his hand goes up, and then like more up and more up and more up, and the arm and this rapier and this blade just sort of like disappear between Hadrian and this creature. And then a moment later, from where the creature's head is out over, like poking out over his shoulder, you just see like the world's grossest unicorn. The rapier just comes out like right between this thing's forehead, and then it falls limp to the ground, dead on the floor. Hadrian, you sort of like put your foot and pull the rapier out. That hand with the pincer is still in you, as it's like on the floor dead. It's just like that. Anything else with your turn?
Is pulling that thing out going to be an action?
No, you can free action.
Okay. So in all that, I'll say that Hadrian will pull the spike out, and in the process, at one point I would assume that Hadrian's hat would have fallen off.
Okay.
And if anybody who's looking, because I guess they're only seeing the back of Hadrian's head, right?
Yeah.
It's so the under the hat, the mask has like a black skull cap, but sticking out in the back, he doesn't have a lot of hair, but what he does have are several long gray strands that just sort of stick out. And then he bends down and picks up his hat and turns back to the party. That's it. Just wiping his hands at like the spike juice.
Rips this thing out and throws it on the floor. Puts his hat back on. Alrighty. Flare, it is your turn. There is one of these creatures still on its feet.
Flare did move back, but I was going to ask you if this was possible. Flare does have a movement speed of 40 feet. So what Flare would like to do is start to run towards this guy.
Okay.
And in the process, be forming a ball of flame in his hands.
Okay.
And he's going to throw the flame at this creature first, and then he's going to catapult off of the dead creature that Hadrian just put down, and then do a Johnny Cage flying kick toward the chest of this creature as his bonus action.
You can absolutely do that. So go ahead and just start making attack rolls, baby.
All right, produce flame is a 23 to hit.
Oh yeah.
Alyssa's favorite cantrip.
And that's 5 fire damage.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
And then the unarmed strike coming at him is a 17 to hit.
That also hits.
Which is going to be 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and he'll just land in like a 3-point stance, like in front of him.
So, Aki, you're still like the only one who is more or less behind this barrier that the Tailor brought up, as you haven't really had to move too much to engage in this battle. So, at this point, this creature with these crab-like appendages is like on the other side of this barrier, sort of near you, and the image of this that you get is basically you see it sort of standing there like and it's like for a moment it's like backlit by this orange glow, and then just like several tendrils of fire just like over the top of it as this flame smashes into its back. And then Flare, you run, you push off of the fallen one that Hadrian just stabbed, spin around through the air and kick into this thing. And it's just like flung forward by the force of the impact, striking into the half wall. And you basically, like, you guys all see this thing hit the wall, and its torso just snaps at like a 90-degree angle. So Aki, like, it goes, and the crab claws go like, and then it slides back down. The crab claws go like,
Absolutely
and it
vile. Absolutely vile.
hits the ground dead.
Ugh.
And you guys are out of combat.
Ouch.
Well played.
Right.
That was gross.
Right.
That didn't taste too well.
Is everyone okay?
Well, that was not totally awful. Good job. Now I know what kind of husk I need to get you set up for.
I think Flair would go back over to the canteen, holding this massive wound that he has, and he would drink a little bit and then dump a little bit of alcohol on the wound, and it'll just go.
He's the tailor kind of watches and goes, okay. He goes, I suppose you're new here, you don't really know how it works. Right, well, obviously we're not going to send you out right away. I still need to send the specifications to the Prime Material so they can prepare husks for you. Take some time to rest. You don't have real bodies anymore, you're spirits, you're projections of your own souls. Pretty much sit around for 8 or 9 hours after taking any sort of damage that hasn't obliterated you, and you'll just put yourself back together. It's like magic.
Magic.
Do we still have our weapons on us?
Yes.
Our boat disappears.
He kind of turns back, makes a few final notes on his chalkboard, and then he kind of like flips over the lapel of his sleeveless bro suit jacket, and you see that he has a black butterfly pin on his chest there, and he leans his face sort of towards it. His beard kind of mushes over it, over his huge barrel chest, but he sort of speaks down towards this thing, and he goes, "Aye, Mora, they're done. Come get them, rest them up, and then send them to go clean up their monster." And a moment later, you hear, seemingly coming from the pin, you just hear "Alright, keep your knickers on, I'm coming." And
I love her.
30 or so seconds later, the door opens, and just standing there, sort of bouncing on the balls of her feet, is Mora. And she looks, and she sees the 3 smashed shades that you fought, and she looks at the tailor, and she goes, "You turd! You made them fight. They got here 15 minutes ago. You made them fight shades." And he goes, "I needed to know what they were doing so I could put them in the proper husk." It's kind of bollocks. You've been doing this for what? 8,000 years? You knew what kind of husks they needed 4 seconds after they walked in here, you crabby old goat. Come on, you lot. Don't stand near this jackass any more than 1 more second, making you fight a bunch of... Got here 2 minutes ago, you're fighting shades. He's sick. He's a sick man, I tell you that much. If it weren't for the fact that he's the only one who knows how to design these husks that you need, we'd kick him into a big old hole in the ground.
Is anyone else completely confused about what goes on here?
No, she seems like a brilliant woman. I adore her.
Seems pretty straightforward.
He comes over to Flair and he puts his hand on his shoulder and he goes, "I think you need to come to terms with the fact that you may be a moron." He walks away.
And there he goes.
Alright. So Mora says, All right, little dearies, why don't you come with me and we'll get you rested up a little bit, and by the time you're all stitched back together, the Raven clerics back on the Prime Material should have some husks ready for you, and we'll get you sent off. And I think that is a good point for us to take another very brief break. As